Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video. If you're new here, my name is Allison. I'm 28 years old and I share all the nitty-gritty details of my personal finances on the internet. And this video is going to be a breakdown of how exactly I budget my paycheck. I do post a lot of videos about personal finance, my debt payoff journey, things like that, but I also do post lifestyle content as well, such as vlogs and just like my daily life, work-life balance type content. So if any of that is interesting to you, definitely like and subscribe, follow along. But let's get into today's video. Every 2 weeks, I sit down with you guys and go through and budget my paycheck with you guys. So that is what we're doing today. This is an exciting paycheck because I got my last bonus check, which I guess that's not exciting. It's exciting because I got more money. It's not exciting because it was my last bonus. When I took my current job, I had a sign-on bonus. It got paid out in 4 installments over the last year, so that's been super exciting. But I've now reached my year mark and I've got my final bonus. The way that it was broken down is it gets sent to me in like my normal paycheck and then my bonus paycheck. So we'll go over my income first. From my normal paycheck, I got $2,295, and then from my bonus, I got $2,036. Pretty good, like basically like an extra paycheck, so that was very exciting. And then I had about $80 left over from my previous pay period that is carrying over into this budget. Basically, that's any money that I didn't use from my last paycheck that I budget for myself for like gas, coffee, any other things that happen during like those 2 weeks. If I have extra money, it carries over and then I use that to budget with. If we add that all up, my total income that I can budget with is about $4,411. That was super exciting, very large number to work with, which means I had room to play around, and obviously my main goal right now is to pay off my debt, so allowed me to make a large payment towards my debt, which felt amazing. Let's get into the breakdown of everything. Obviously, first thing I save for is my rent. I mention this in every video, but I am very lucky. Our rent is only $850 in the way that me and my husband currently split the bills. I do pay for the rent, the whole $850. He does pay some of the other bills like gas, electric, water, things like that. And it just like works for us. To split it up, I do usually $400 from one paycheck and $450 from my other paycheck during the month. For like, this is October, that will pay for November's rent. This paycheck I saved $450 for our rent, and then into my regular savings, which is my emergency fund, did put $75 into that account because I've been trying to build that back up a little bit. I did have to take some money out a couple months ago for my car. I've been trying to build that up just slowly while I'm also paying off my debt because I want my emergency fund to be somewhat stocked up just in case anything comes up again. I don't need to explain myself. I like to just help people understand like what's going on in my head when I make these decisions because, again, I know not everyone would make the same choices with their money that I do, and that's totally fine. But that's just what I feel comfortable with doing, having at least some money go towards savings. That kind of moves into this next one as well. In our joint savings account, which is specifically money that we are trying to save for down payment on house, I ended up putting $975 into that account. Again, I feel like a lot of people might think, why would you do that when you have credit card debt? I understand that mindset, I do, but at the same time, the one credit card that I have right now is a balance transfer card, so it has 0% interest, so I'm not too worried about that. Like, I know a lot of people think that I'm probably getting a lot of interest every month. That's not the case. And when I first took this job and I knew about the sign-on bonus, the whole idea was that I would use that money to save for our house. I didn't even use the whole bonus, obviously, for saving for the house. I would have liked to save more than that. I just felt like that was a good number where I was kind of like still making a large payment towards my debt, but also still saving for our goal of buying a house. Because we are creeping up on spring of next year. I know we haven't even hit like winter yet, but it's almost November. and we are hoping to like literally start the process probably in like March or April, because that's, I feel like spring is when like a lot of houses come onto the market. And then also I think the interest rates are supposed to drop a little bit more by the end of the year. I just think early next year is probably the best bet for us to get a house. And again, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I am able to pay off my debt probably next month. I'll be very, very close next month. I would still like to have money saved in case, like, for whatever reason, maybe our timeline moves up with the house and then we have this money saved that's in a high yield savings account getting interest when my credit card is not getting any interest. So that's just my explanation for it. I know, again, people might not agree with this decision. They might just say like, well, then just pay off your credit cards faster and then save more after you pay off your credit cards, which totally makes sense. I understand that that's what some people would choose to do. Right now, that's what I wanted to do with that money. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense to some people. It might not. I don't know. Then into our account that we have for groceries, I ended up putting $250 into this account. Normally I only put $125, but the way that the two checks got broken up is that they still follow the same breakdown. You know how you can make like payment elections on like where you want your money to go from your paycheck, and it sticks with the bonus check. So I usually have like $125 go directly into that account from my normal paycheck, so it sent $125 from the bonus check into there, which is totally fine because we do like to put extra money in there every so often. It helps us honestly just have a little bit extra in that account. And then I take a look at any subscriptions that are going to be coming out during the next 2 weeks. And I have 4, and they total up to $42.50. Our Blink subscription, which is the little camera system that we use for our house, and that is $10.63. I do have the CapCut Pro subscription, and that is $9.99. And I actually do use a lot of those features for editing my YouTube videos, sounds, whatever, TikTok videos, things like that. And then I have Amazon Prime, which is $15.89. And then my Spotify subscription is $5.99 because I still have the student discount for that. Don't know when that's gonna end, but I'm riding the wave of $5.99 for now. Again, that comes to $42.50. Then I always budget for my pets. This specifically that I budget every 2 weeks is mainly for cat food and cat litter. Every 2 weeks I get cat litter delivered, and that is coming this week, so that was $31.46. Typically I know the exact amount like that because you can go on Amazon and like look at your subscribe and save orders and like shipping dates and stuff, so that is very helpful to be able to see and budget out. As I mentioned in like some of my previous videos, I am doing a medical coding course so that I can hopefully work from home eventually. I take my test in about a month. When I signed up for that, I did a payment plan because I didn't have the money, and I didn't want to like pay the whole payment and then like have that be on my credit cards again. So I did like a 0% interest financing thing. I made a $250 payment towards that. And again, I think I'll have that paid off earlier than expected. Again, I'm not getting interest on it, but it is an annoying payment that I have to make just for the time being. And then it's only October, but Christmas is gonna come up super, super fast, and me and my husband, we're getting my mother-in-law a gift, so we split the cost for that, and my portion of the gift was $72.33, but at least that's one gift that is out of the way and that we don't have to worry about anymore. The only other person I'm buying something for is my husband, and I already kind of know what I want to get him, so I also have that sort of planned into the budget as well, so that is exciting. We did get a gift, and then I put $214 towards my car loan, and that number is like specific like that just because that brought the total down to an even number, which doesn't really even matter because by the time I make my next payment there'll have been interest accrued, so I don't know. I just wanted to throw a little bit extra towards it just for fun, and like this one I could specifically say like put this towards the principal of the loan, so I just sometimes if I can throw a little bit extra towards it like here and there because I know it is gonna make a difference in the long run. And then I also knew that I was going to the dentist this weekend, and they told me the last time that it was probably gonna be about $65, so that's what I budgeted, and the total cost did end up being $65.80. So it was very close, and it was nice to know that ahead of time so that I could budget for that in this paycheck. But yeah, that was because of like a copay and like all that garbage with dental work and stuff, so that was super fun. So then what I'll do is once I add that up and figure out like what I have left over, that's when I try like kind of figure out what is a good amount that I can put towards my credit card debt, where I'll still have like a good amount left over for the next 2 weeks that I feel comfortable with, that I'll be able to pay for all the gas that I need. And I'm just a girl, and I know that I need extra money because things will come up, if I'm being honest. And like, I do let myself get coffee, bagels, and like things like that. Not all the time, but sometimes. So I do give myself like a little bit of grace in that aspect, where I know it's not sustainable for me to just cut out all unnecessary spending. I need to let myself live a little and like not be extremely strict with my budget. And that has been actually helping me a lot. Like if I let myself buy something, just one thing, instead of trying to go like 2 weeks without buying anything, then I kind of sometimes go on this like spiral and end up buying more than I would have. I feel like that is like the balance that works for me. I know that's not going to work for everybody, and I know some people want to just go cold turkey, stop spending any extra money. But for me, what I know is going to work in the long run is still allowing myself to buy certain things that I may need, or just even like a couple extra things that I may not need. It just helps me mentally. Anyway, when I did that math, a good number that also was gonna bring my credit card to like a good even number was $1,575, which felt amazing. That was such a relief, honestly. Like, I knew the bonus was coming. So like a month ago, you know, in my head, I'm like, my credit card debt is very, very high. Like, I was getting very anxious about it. And it's like, I know that I'll be able to make a big payment coming up, but I also was like, I just want it to be here so I can see the total go down. Finally, it went down by quite a bit, obviously, and it just like was the nice little momentum that I needed to tell myself like, okay, I can do this, and like I'll be out of this credit card debt like so soon, and it feels great. One giant step closer to reaching my goals. I try not to think like this because like, what's the point? Like, obviously it would have been so much nicer to not use that towards credit card debt, which then that's also kind of the motivation that keeps me going, as like, don't let yourself get back into a situation like this once you pay everything off. Because imagine like what you could have, like I could have used that to save for the house, and we would have been like so much closer. I try not to like dwell on it, but at least like it helps. Like, I try to spin it where it's a positive, and like I'm like, okay, just remember, don't get yourself back in a bad situation, because think of all the other things you could have done with this money. I can't change the spending I did in the past. I can only look forward, do better, make better choices, and move on from there. If you add all of that up, because that is all of the expenses. If you add all of that up, it comes to just about $4,000 exactly. So then if you subtract that from the number I mentioned in the beginning, which was like my overall budget number, that was $4,411. That leaves me obviously with $411 for the next 2 weeks to budget with, but I would say maybe 170 to 180 of that will be gas. That leaves me with $231 for 2 weeks. Lately, because I've been like pretty good with sticking to the budget, as I mentioned, like usually I can carry over about $60 to $80. But again, I like to leave myself with that little bit of wiggle room, because I know myself, and I know that, you know, maybe buying a lip gloss might make me feel better and not make me go crazy and buy like $100 worth of something that I don't need. Like, if I can buy something for like $8, that might satisfy my like need to want to spend money. I've been doing this in a couple of the latest videos, but I will go through my current debt update with you guys now after making those payments. I now only have the one credit card that has a balance on it, and after making that payment, the credit card is at $2,900. Next month is also a 3 paycheck month, so I'm very excited about that. I will be very close to paying that off, especially with the money that I'll get from social media next month. I had a pretty decent decent month on TikTok. So I'm actually hoping a couple of my videos that I have planned will do well the next few days, because any views and money that you make in October, you get paid out for in November. And then I should also maybe get my first YouTube payment. So between all of that, I actually might be able to pay this off in November, which would be incredible. So we'll see. We're gonna hang tight and see what happens. And then my car loan after the payment that I made is at $14,990. So I just made it under $15,000. Unfortunately, with the car loan, by the time I make my next payment, it will have accrued a little bit of interest. Total current debt is at $17,890, which feels like a scary number, still feels high. At the same time, I know most of that is a car loan, which I'm not too worried about. Like, I obviously have enough to make the payment plus extra. I always say that. I'm not stressed about it, really. I needed a reliable vehicle for working, but I obviously want to pay it off faster and save on some of the interest. So that's really the main push, to pay that off early. But yeah, that is where I'm currently at. That is how I budget my paycheck while trying to focus on paying off this debt and getting debt-free, getting into a house, all of the good things. I think next year is going to be a really, really good year. I really do think I will hopefully be totally debt-free. I will hopefully be in a house. Well, I guess then I won't be debt-free because I'll have a mortgage, but mortgage is like a whole nother monster and a whole other beast that like I'll deal with when we get there. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling hopeful. Thank you guys so much again, as usual, for watching my videos. If you've made it this far, comment down below any major goal that you have for the rest of the year, and we can cheer each other on in the comments, trying to reach all these goals. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in the next video.